Hello friends, it's a beautiful sunny day, winter day, and I wanted to share some thoughts with you all. I've been thinking about how to, or what, if anything, to say about the recent news that's out there about some really disturbing, dark things, and I don't even need to mention names because I think we all know what it involves. And here's what I want to share with you. When we hear about horrifying things that are being done, especially to children, it can cause a lot of emotion, a lot of fear, a lot of anger. Of course, how can it not? In fact, we wouldn't really be human if it didn't. And you know, when we hear something that's so shocking, it's like the stages of grief. We go through some stages, one of them being denial, one of them being anger, depression, bargaining, and ultimately we want to reach, sadness. And I always say beneath anger is sadness. We want to reach ultimately a layer of acceptance, but that doesn't mean that it's okay. It's not okay. And the fact is, this has been going on for tens of thousands of years, ever since the earth was created. And it's, it's part of our spiritual awakening. I certainly started going down the rabbit hole back in 2016, and finding all this stuff out and really not wanting to know about it, not wanting to believe it. There's a great book that woke me up called Family of Light, and actually the book that woke me up was not Family of Light, but Bringers of the Dawn by Barbara Marcidiak. She also wrote Family of Light, so check that out if you want to understand a little more about this. Read it in small doses because it's very difficult to wrap our brains around, because essentially our planet has been controlled by dark forces and those non-human, really, entities, Anunnaki, connected to secret societies, for tens of thousands of years. But yet we're in the age of awakening, 2012, the age of Aquarius, when we're starting to see the truth about what's going on. And the fact is that these are leaders, these are people we've looked up to, celebrities, pretty much any leader of influence and power that's in the media a lot, that may have a lot of money, not all of them, right? But almost all are involved in this. And that's part of the ruling system. That's how you get into power, is you have to kind of compromise your soul. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I really don't want to bring more fear and anger to this. And in fact, going in the Akashic Records today, that's exactly what I was picking up on and feeling, is that, it's normal to feel fear and anger about this, but the best tool we have, because we want to know what to do, right? What do we do about this? The best tool we have is love. And that doesn't mean it's okay, we accept it. It means that we need to understand that these beings operate on vibration, and they feed off our fear and our anger. So we always want to ask, why is this all coming out in mainstream media right now? Because they know that it's creating fear and anger, and so they're feeding off of that. So we want to be very careful of where we give our energy to. It's normal to kind of want to go down these rabbit holes. We called them conspiracy theories at one point, right? Now they're not such conspiracies anymore. We're seeing the truth. But be careful about how much you read. They can get addictive. We can get sucked into it, and then we start to notice your emotions that come up. If you're in fear, if you're in anger, it's not for your highest good to look at that stuff anymore. Love is the highest vibrational tool there is, and ultimately the Christed light, the Christ consciousness that we're all being asked to step into, and that we're all feeling, that light of love, is about forgiveness, empathy, understanding, compassion. And yes, that even means for people who've done unspeakable things that we would call evil. They are. That's what it is, and it's an absence of light. They're probably controlled by non-human entities. There's other words to describe them, dark gods. You can read about them in the Bible, but I'm not even going to give any energy to those names, because I don't want to allow this video to create that. I'm trying to be careful with my words. But when we come, and so love, they don't realize that many of us are understanding this now. Maybe they do realize it, but we're constantly been used for our emotions. So love, what is unconditional love? What does that look like? There's this walk for peace that's been happening. These wonderful Buddhist monks that walk from Texas to Washington, D.C., that's really, they're teaching us. That's what love looks like. They're not talking about this stuff. I'm sure they know about it, but they're just exuding love. They're exuding peace and contentment. So it starts with us. And it can be challenging, yes, to think, well, how am I complicit? Am I allowing this? When we tap into our intuition, and this is my work, right? Quieting our minds, we know maybe some of us will be guided to activate, to protest, to not fuel the system, the extremely corrupt system any longer, and to create our own little microcosms of self-governance of society. I'm not suggesting we do that. That's not my guidance, is to do that. But it might be yours. And if so, I embrace that and I applaud you for that. But for many of us, it's forgiveness and love. It's meditation, sending out light. And that is ultimately what's going to help free our planet from this earth prison that we've been under. That's how we've been operating. And it's what Jesus was trying to teach us. Buddha, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, all of these beautiful ascended masters that walked on the earth. And there are many of them still here, and you won't hear about them. They might be the monks that are walking right now, maybe even not. They might be meditating in a cave somewhere. But this is how we free ourselves. This is how we activate. This is how we shift consciousness. So I hope this has been helpful. Much love.